You get a chance.
Hey, how is everybody doing today? This is the Cannabis Show. This is the Cannabis Show. And we are here to entertain you, and we are here to get the information that you need and send it out to you so you can be prepared to go to the next step. Every time we look around, there's something new going on. And it's unbelievable how most people is accepting defeat, standing up and whining about it without doing anything to attack the people who is putting them in this bad position.
Hey, everybody.
So again, each time that we walk on this show, we're here to inform you on a way that you can always fight back. Because there's so many tools in the shed that you can use. And you just got to put yourself with the right team and then have the right understanding of yourself to say, I'm ready to have this fight. And when you sit back and listen to this show, you're going to hear some people who is willing and able to have this fight. They're not going to stand on the side of the road and look at the politicians and the people of power control the narratives, what's going on. They are here to make a narrative for themselves and for the community as a whole. So the community can know that it's somebody there trying their very best to look out for you guys. So each day we travel through this life and we always say, well, the big people have made the final decision. Where I know and you know, if you anything like the people who is not laying cold on the ground, surrender their life, that is a such thing of a fight. So you need to stand up and be counted for. And if you do that and rebel against the people who trying to put you in a bad position, the people who trying to put you in a bad position will stop and decease. And they will take a step back and understand that nobody is sweeping anything underneath the rug. Because anything worth having is worth fighting for. And everybody say, man, how can you bring this to us like this? Because you guys are amazing people. Someone just didn't teach you guys how to have that real fight yet. So now it's time for you guys to sit back and listen a little bit and then imitate a whole lot of things that you hear. You don't have to imitate all of it. Just the things that you need to know so you can have this fight for what's right. Everything is not always right because the people say it's right. They just do wrong a lot because people just have accepted it and turned their backs and walked away. There's no way in the world in the 21st century that we supposed to sit here and accept what people of power is doing to us. So for once, if you never had a fight, just pick up yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm willing to have this fight because I'm tired of being left behind. And when you be left behind, you find yourself with nothing. You find your family with nothing. And your grandchildren wake up in the morning and want a bowl of cereal or something like that. And they ask you, Grandpa, Grandma, why we don't have nothing to eat? Why everybody else in the world is doing so much greater than us? So now you got to point the finger at yourself and stop blaming everybody else. And take that journey. Take that real journey through life and find what God gave you, the strength to carry on and put yourself in a better position. Because it's very important for us to stand together, not separate. Because when you stand separate with the team, you end up finding yourself in a weak position. So each day, I'm going to repeat this. What do you want me to talk about? I am your voice. I am here to open a dialogue with the rest of the world, with the rest of the people in Southern California, Northern California, I am here to sit here and tell you that you are not wrong for standing up for what you believe in. And when you stand up, you find yourself in a better position. Our grandfathers before us worked 2 and 3 jobs to put food on the table, and moms used to stay at home. Here we are today with all the technology in the world, and we refuse to use the technology, and we refuse to work for what we want. America, my people, all that should come to an end. What you guys are going through right now, everybody is locked up in jail. And a whole lot of people are not going to come out on the right side. They're going to be in the same position that a whole lot of the black community is in. And now they're going to have to figure out what's their best way to attack the world. So here we are again. We in the same boat we was in a long time ago. But we are better prepared than most people in the world to fight this brand new fight was right in front of us. The economy is in front of us. It's time for us to come together and build us some businesses and help each other and pick each other up off the ground. A whole lot of blacks won't say this, but I am willing to march on that line with you. The Green Believers is here to do what they got to do. White's Enterprise don't have no choice of the matter because we are here to have that fight that I've been wanting to have that fight for the last 40 years for. And I want to fight with you every day of my life. I never want to surrender. I refuse to surrender. There's no such thing as quit. So here we are. We at this point in life where we can defend ourselves. We don't need nobody to defend us at all because the right thing is to do the right thing. So today, I'm going to have a great show. I'm going to have a show about the corruption in the city of Los Angeles in the marijuana industry. I'm talking about $1 trillion industry that everybody trying to take over and leave black America.
Well, they haven't made
$1
trillion yet. They ain't made $1 trillion yet.
Everybody talk about cotton and all these other oils, but right now all of them taking a tumble also. So they just trying to get in line to get the new thing. And here we are. I got Madison with me today. He gonna talk about some things. I got girl Shirley with me today. She gonna talk about things. I got Tone with me today. He gonna talk about something different. But at the end of the day, it's gonna come back and we're gonna circle the whole wagon. And we're gonna sit here and let you guys know that we sitting at this table as a whole, not separate. And our power is in numbers. And today is just one of those days that we're gonna generate a whole lot of new power. Just like we enjoy 420, they say it was a celebration of success. But it was a celebration of the first step to freedom, the first step to understanding, the first step to wealth. And each day that we look at this world today, we're trying to position ourselves to be the beacon that drive America. We are these people that pose to make everybody smile and say they doing what they supposed to do. So I'm gonna pass this to Shirley. I know she here. Girl Shirley, welcome in.
Yes, hi Whitey. Hi everybody.
She's not in Madison.
Hey Cheryl, I can hear her on my end. You can't hear?
Well, I can hear her on my end.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to kick that to Rashid. Rashid, you got everything? You all good, my brother?
I can hear.
I think we are. Well, good.
Here.
I'm glad that you guys could join us today for the Green Believers podcast. I am the co-host with Whitey, and I am still at home in quarantine, day 40-something. I can't quite remember, but we're keeping the show must go on. And today is really important, Whitey, what you're saying. The call for action. There was a council meeting today, and there's a number of emails and texts that people can send, social media, to express their opinion so that we can maintain, equity and the social equity licensing. And it's so great to have Madison on to represent, the social equity owners and workers, investors, and, they filed a lawsuit, and it's going to be good to hear, what is it that you're looking for? What are some of your key points? You have a GoFundMe because you're going to need to fund the legal the suit. So we want to promote that and encourage people to support that. And maybe you can kind of just tell us, what prompted this and what's your case about?
Hey, Cheryl. Thank you.
Hey.
My name is Madison Shockley. Thank you, Whitey.
More than welcome.
Thank you all for having me on the show again. I think it's been maybe a year now since I was on, because I've been on before. It's a little while back, one of the earlier episodes.
Yes.
Not my first time in the neighborhood.
You're a veteran.
So thank you guys for having me back on today. As Cheryl mentioned, I'm a social equity applicant. I'm a member of the Social Equity Owners and Workers Association, which is a newer association that we've recently formed, kind of in the wake of round one not going as planned. I think many people may know us from Life Development Group, founded by Kika Keith. We've been working alongside each other for the last year and a half, doing education in the community, doing outreach, working with Green Believers, being a part of you all's programming. And so, we've been on this journey. I remember when I first learned about the social equity program, I was real excited. I told my family about it. I told my friends. I stopped what I was doing in other areas of my life to focus on this because I thought it was a life-changing generational wealth opportunity, and it is a life-changing generational wealth opportunity if we make it that, and that's what this process over the last couple of years is showed me. We're gonna have to fight for this equity.
Yes, you are. They're not gonna just give it to you. If you think you're going to get it for free, everybody crazy. And I know you strong enough to have this fight. That's why I asked Cheryl to make sure we had this conversation with Madison so he can come down and tell me what he's getting ready to do to these people. Because I just wanted to hear the conversation in person so I can sit back and send it out later on.
Yeah, what would y'all like to know?
Well, it's like, everybody want to know how are you going to attack the city for that, but how do you use it? That misleading information and their misuse of power that they keep on sending around the corner, and then they sit back and tell you, well, we got something else for you, but just give us a break to back off of this lawsuit that you got going on.
Got you. Okay, well, I gotta start out just. Preface it, but I have to be really careful because it is
it's a pending suit.
It's a pending.
This could be a bit of
nothing.
Yeah.
But my attorneys have advised me not to say anything about the case itself, the details of the case, and any thing relating to the proceedings going on. But I'll talk about my experience.
That's all they're gonna need.
And motivation for it. And what it is actually is a petition to the court to have a judge. It's called a writ of mandate. And it's a petition to a judge to order a city department, in this case, the Department of Cannabis Regulation, to comply with the civil code that they're governed by. The rules on the books, their own rules.
Okay.
And the contention is that didn't take place. They didn't follow their own rules when they carried out phase 3 round 1 of the social equity retail licenses. And
right.
They told
I get that. So for example, like, could we say, Madison, like, for example, because we chose to go with the first come, first serve method, and there was no plan. I don't recall seeing anything that governed So what do we do if something goes wrong with first come, first serve? And that's one of the allegations. And the way I see it is because they didn't have a written policy that we know of. So let's just say we couldn't locate one. Then, that's one of the things that we're raising, the reasonable doubt, I like to call it. The reasonable doubt that the decisions you made are not going to hold up and you need to go back and do something else, because there was no plan that we know of that talked about what if something gets in early. So now they're going to have that going forward. But I think what I was worried about is, but at what cost? You're going to cost us people. It's not going to be fair. It's already not a perfect system. But when you complicate it by adding on policy and decisions after the fact to say you're going to balance, that's what draws into all the questions. So it's almost just like, hey, just compromise. Everybody go through, and like you're saying, a writ. Maybe you need to be directed to just go back to the rules. What would it cost? Like, what is the? Let's go the opposite side. What would it cost for them to go and review all 800? Just go through everybody that applied and vet them and make a list. Why wouldn't they just do something simple like that? What do you think the pushback is that you had to bring legal pressure to bear on the department?
That's a really good question. What would it take to process everybody since they weren't able to execute
just process everybody. Right.
To that end, one of the reasons we started the Social Equity Owners and Workers Association is because we've been building a camaraderie amongst the social equity community, all the other social equity applicants. If you're an applicant, if you're one of the 1,629 pre-verified applicants, we have that common thread. There's only 1,629 of us in LA with that status as social equity applicants. And, I've met so many of them in the process, and we have this bond that we've been developing, and we share information, and we support each other, and we help each other. And so that's why we started the association, so we can have a professional business association where we can be support for each other, where we can have strength in numbers and be a voice for ourselves without a filter.
Well, you guys are going to need that, Madison. You're going to need that.
And through that camaraderie, we've been able to share information with each other. One of the social equity applicants I know put together a document, and what it did was look at all the addresses of everybody who applied and mapped out who would knock out who based on the sensitive use and undue concentration and all those filters that it would go through. So he looked at all 802 applications and determined that if you processed all 800, you would only find maybe another 129 applications that would even qualify because of undue concentration issues and all the other things, right?
Okay, so now you're in a window where I want to ask the devil's advocate question. So if your numbers show 129, if they did everybody, and they have 100 on their list now, that's a 29 variance. In real numbers.
It's 129.
So how do we know? Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, because you get a variance. You're going to get a variance. So let's just what happens with the 100 that they have? How do we back into the 100 that they have overlay with any of the 129?
That's a good question. A compromise solution that I think would be a good idea would be to keep the 100 that were selected so far and continue processing from there in the current order, right? So you would be adding 129. You just keep going down the line. So you wouldn't eliminate the current 100. You just add an additional 129. And now what that does is it puts us at the community area plan capacity. At that point, undue concentration is met, but then everybody else can apply through the PCN process, which is on hold right now, right? And so, you know, the
Well,
goal
I'm
is
still
to,
not following you though. So if you have 100, if we have this 100, no one is in consensus about the 100 moving forward without some kind of
some
vetting
vetting.
or other condition,
Oh
right?
yeah.
All of us,
Oh yeah.
all of our groups, Green Believers, everybody, CMA, SCC, your group, the new group.
Oh yeah.
So boom, so that's 100, and then your data from your analysis, because we can just establish you guys as good as Google Earth program as the city got, right? So
Yeah.
your guy comes up with 129.
Yes.
So you're saying put those two together, and now those two. But what about the ones in the 100 that are not vetted?
Yes.
You get what
Now,
I'm saying?
now,
So how do you? So which of the two is your 129 or the city's 100? Which one do you think is the one that's most vetted according to
I don't think
where the social equity?
I don't think any are vetted yet, right? And we gotta you know, keep in perspective like the rules and the process, and you know, processing an additional 129 would come before the next step of then vetting them, right? So you would vet them after.
Well, we'd want to know before. I'd want to know because I'd want to know of the 129 that your group is saying we did an internal analysis and we have some other data. We want to because you're introducing this into the narrative.
Yes.
So now there's this other 129. We want to add them to the 100, and now we got 229 people that we don't know what the hell is going on with them.
Yep.
And then we're going to vet that 229 and then continue to move through the 800. I think we're saying the same thing. Vet the 100 first because they're already in the queue.
Hey, Cheryl, when you file a lawsuit and it's recall of the mandate. Remember that they call it recall of the mandate. Mm-hmm. When you're recalling the mandate, Cheryl, you recalling the whole program. You saying the whole program is meaningless. So
That's not necessarily the case.
when you call a recall of the mandate, when you recall the mandate, you saying everything in here is vile.
We're not recalling a man. We're doing a writ of mandate.
Yes. So when you next time when you get an opportunity to go see what a mandate means, it's gonna say recall a mandate because you recalling what they did wrong.
All this lawsuit will do is have a judge decide whether the department followed the law or not.
And should they
if
move
they
forward?
if they did not follow the law, a judge would order them to follow the law correctly. That's all this process.
So you understand what you're saying, right? If the judge called back and say you got to follow this law correctly, so he got to move everything that
that wouldn't
did.
change the law, though.
No, it wouldn't. It ain't gonna change the law.
Yeah.
It's gonna change the people who got an application to go forward.
It certainly
They
could.
can't go forward no more because you just recalled it.
Yeah.
So now you got to start over from scratch. Yes. Everybody get to go back in there and go through this whole program all over what everybody been asking for anyway. Mm-hmm. That's what you're asking for. You asking for a recall.
No.
It ain't nothing else you can possibly ask for.
We're asking for the process to be carried out the way it's written in the law. First
Yes.
come, first serve.
Yes.
Right? First come, first serve is what the law says.
Yes.
And it says the first 100 that apply in that order.
So the people who came
we're
in
saying
wrong-
we're saying you know if you can't carry out a first come, first serve with the process that happened, then do it again. You know.
That's the only thing I just told you.
But that's not up to me to decide.
That's the judge.
Yeah.
It's the judge. So the judge say, hey, these 18 people came in, so it was flawed. So we got to do this over. He can't pick. He got to do it over because it's a flawed situation.
Did you all get a chance to read the lawsuit that we filed?
I got to read some of it. I didn't get to read the whole thing, and that's why I was asking that clarifying question. So if your internal data is guiding you to believe there's this other group, you know, but like I said, to me what makes sense is everyone, all 800, get vetted because they all applied.
Got it.
So
Well,
the mandate, if I was directing DCR, if I was their friend, I'm directing you, hey, Kat, I would say put in the plan to vet all 800. Just vet everybody that applied.
yes.
And
I
that
also,
way you're able to first we can and that is a strategy to carry out the law. The law said cannabis conviction, so they're all vetted for that. And there's a couple of subsets that go under what is cannabis conviction. So she may have to set up one of the things we talked about, which is having some kind of oversight committee to co-design, co-govern, co-vet, with DCR in this first phase. Because, like you said, we're here. We got here, hook or crook, we're here. And when we looked, we couldn't locate any policy or rules that said, what's the disaster plan? That's what we're dealing with here with COVID. This is not unusual for city of LA because the disaster plan, so we didn't have it. So all 800 get
and I want to be careful
vetted,
just to
cannabis conviction, low income. What was the other one? A zip code, police precincts. There's a number of things, as you say, by the law, by the ordinance, that could remedy this.
Yes, I agree remedy. With that. There's a
couple of we could remedy that, and then the 800 puts everybody on notice. We co-design with them. Some people, it's their social equity contract is not really good. Some people don't have the proper exit clauses and phrases or at all. Some people have 2 and 3 double sets of books that we could possibly get to the bottom of.
Yep.
Now, the downside to that, Madison, Whitey, is that means we're looking at 12 months. I'm going to be conservative because it could go 18 where nobody's making any money because we're not going to have any licenses either.
Yep. That's why.
So I don't want to
oversimplify.
I don't want to oversimplify. This is where I think Kat loses her sleep at night because I still believe she's doing the best she can with what she's working with. Now, is that what we need or what we want? No. But there it is, Yeah. But how do we say we need to be making money? We need to be in business to even begin to talk about legacy, economic. You just can't take the baby from infant to, high school. You got to go through those stages.
That's right.
So that's what I'm saying. We're not even getting out of the starting gate, and that's having a ripple effect on everybody's planning, their expectations.
Hey, Cheryl, so in other words, they should have some temporary licenses passed out to many people they could pass out
right now.
That could be a remedy too.
Because that's the only remedy.
That could be a remedy.
They could do that. Yes. They could do that with delivery licenses.
They could do that
because there's no cap. Retail has a cap.
We could do that. We could have temporary. Exactly. So this is where we want to move the conversation.
Yeah, Cheryl can hear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We just want to know how you guys can get in the game. That's the only thing. I don't want to.
I think we can get in with delivery right now. Right. That's what. Cannabis is an essential business, and delivery is the thing right now. You can't go in stores. We don't have any retail stores for people to go in, but the DCR has the ability to make delivery licenses available to all of us. Okay. Actually, they proposed it in their recent recommendations that all 802 could apply for either delivery, a manufacturing, or a distribution.
I got a question. Why was it rejected?
Why? How was that rejected?
I said, why was it rejected? Why everybody didn't say, give it to us?
Oh, I'm saying give it to us. But I also want to be clear that these are political solutions. What we're discussing now isn't what's in the lawsuit. The lawsuit,
no,
right? And so I don't want to sound like I'm discussing.
I'm not going in that lawsuit.
And the things that I was saying about adding 129, those are my personal how I think would be a good way to move forward.
Madison, I'm not going in that lawsuit because it's against the rules to go in that lawsuit. Period.
What does that mean?
I'm not going to talk about your lawsuit.
Oh, yeah.
It's against the rules to go in that lawsuit.
Yeah, I just wanted our listeners to understand, what the lawsuit is and what it's intended to do, right? Yeah. But I think that we could get started with giving everybody a delivery license right now because there's no cap. Retail, you could only have 400 or something in the whole city.
Okay.
There's no cap on how many delivery licenses they can give out right now.
That's good.
And it's a lot cheaper to start up a delivery business than it is a storefront
Yeah.
retail.
I just want to see you guys in the game.
Yeah. Well, tell them to give us temporary approval on delivery licenses right away.
Shit, Cheryl and them can't even get them to listen
Tell
to
them,
her.
Whitey, go tell them for us, man.
Hey, man, I want to see you guys in the game so bad. You know, everybody tripping on me like, you don't want no license? I said, nah.
What do y'all think about the delivery game?
The delivery game is the weed game. You serving.
Yeah.
As long as you serving, you know, we just put a delivery service up recently.
Okay.
And we serving, and we doing everything in our power to make it work.
Yeah.
And along with you guys,
Can we get in with y'all?
We talk to the boss. You know, like I said, I'm just quarterbacking what's needed to be quarterbacked so we can stay safe and all of that. That's the only thing I'm up to, trying to keep everybody safe in the game. And trust me, I want to see everybody get a bite of this apple. That's why I talk about it so hard. Like, man, being together is more power, and that's right there what's really count with us.
That's right.
And sometimes we
That's
got
what
to
I'm
go
about.
talk to the other people like, hey, man, let me in.
Yeah.
You know, you're not running your delivery service. Let me run it. There's many people that you know in this business where you can have that seat at that table and sit down and say, let's go.
Can you
share
guys
something.
hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, young lady.
Yep.
And
Oh, okay, yeah.
So-
No, I was just wanted to jump in, Madison. Yes, we can welcome you and your brands into Verde Road and talk to any of your other folks. We should just, have a Zoom check-in and go through the legal stuff with all of our, those people that do that part, because that's what we created the Verde Road platform for. To begin to take advantage of what's going on right now.
Yeah,
Because
y'all should come
Verde
visit.
are phase 2. What's that?
Y'all should come visit our group and present it. We got a lot of social equity applicants who are looking at the delivery business model right now, and we need guidance on how do you even set the.
Well,
I've been studying.
I have a technical assistance contract, and so
Yep.
we
That's right. So we're
finally
gonna
got
do
our
all that.
contract since we've been in COVID, and I can reach out and confirm that with you,
I think
and
a
then we
lot
can
of-
come in and put your people in groups.
A lot of
and
applicants
start.
need that training on delivery because if
Are you guys working? Are
'cause
you
if
guys
we can-
meeting in person or on? You guys,
Zoom.
how are you guys meeting since March 15th?
Oh yeah,
Have you been?
we're having meetings on Zoom all the time. I've been on so many Zooms.
I don't get on them no more. Cheryl is mad at me. She just got to stay mad because I'm not getting on them. You know, much as I like,
I don't
much
get
as I like
mad.
it,
I don't get
I just don't.
mad.
I'm gone, sis, because
I
there's a whole lot of
understand.
things happening. I'm too busy.
Yeah.
I'm too busy trying to get all these programs that she's got set up working correct, right, boss?
Yes. Well, we all have our roles. I guess that's what I would say. Everybody got their role.
What-
And there's a role for you, and there's a role for me. Thank God.
We got the 33rd
Mm.
Collected coming out very soon. It's a CBD store, and then Mother Tree coming out on 135th very soon. And we just trying to put everything together because everybody fighting this big fight over this weed, while we keep on bypassing the CBD area, where we supposed to have that fight also. And if you renege that fight, it's going back to other people again. And the powerful 1% gonna have the CBD business all to themselves, locked in, while we over here we tussling over this weed. And then the how do you say it in the right manner? The floor mat for it is very simple for you to get in. You don't have to jump through those hurdles.
That's a good point. Products. Products is where a lot of social equity applicants can focus on building a brand, right?
That's what it's all about, a
Because
brand.
ain't no retail gonna open up in the next year and a half, like you said. Regardless.
Not for cannabis, exactly.
Yeah, right.
That's what our technical assistance, Madison, would be about. We have, we're going to put you in a virtual reality experience, using CBD and hemp. Here's how you learn some of these big concepts.
Yes.
So we've got a lot to work through. Black workers and making sure that the labor powers that be
That's right.
don't create a system that makes it difficult. Like, that's what I mean. These little, what I call like these little petty fights are not the things that are going to hold us back as much as seizing the opportunities we have and dealing with the structural barriers, like making sure if taxes, you know, that we're starting to dial back the unions. We have to talk about black workers.
That's right.
There's a lot of jobs piece to this, and
jobs.
black workers, you know, we don't want to be at the short end
And there's good
of
jobs.
the stick on that. Yeah, we don't want to be in that. Well, we just don't want rules to get in the way of what we're doing. There's an opportunity that July is the beginning of the new year. We have like 20 days to influence the governor and the legislature to turn some of our taxes back.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do make $1, we get to keep at least 60 cents, 55 cents, instead of 30 cents on the dollar. Right now, that's what we're looking at. So even if we woke up tomorrow, Madison, and we got everything we wanted, we just talked ourselves into a deal where we're making 30 cents on every dollar. That doesn't make sense to me either.
I heard somebody the other day say that the tax man became the pusher. Because they're because they're the ones collecting all the profits. They're collecting the largest percentage of the profit. That makes
well,
them.
Come on now. That's why you making my case for me. That's why we need new people to teach us how to play this game.
Yes.
Because what kind of dance do you do with the tax man?
You know, that's a state level issue that's being discussed right now, right? The budget. For this next year is being discussed, and how they're going to apply social equity money in the most effective way is being talked about, and we got to be in that conversation.
See how you guys getting attacked, Cheryl? You guys getting attacked by so many different kind of elements that I'm trying to walk away from that element, because I'm not going to let them put me underneath the gun like that, because I want to be taxed just like the liquor store be taxed. So my whole thing is I'm going to repeat this, and I'm going to repeat it so often that everybody understands. My whole thing is CBD, period. So I'm going to be taxed like the people up in the liquor stores and the grocery stores get taxed. I'm going to be taxed regular. And I want my team to be able to have these same stores, these outlets for people to go to, because it's going to be one of the #1 sellers in America very soon. And our job is to position ourselves there so we don't say, oh, we missed the boat, because the boat is not going to be missed by us. We refuse to miss this boat, and we're going to try to make a bunch of collectives. And with Cheryl's help and the Green Believers' help, with Go Verdict's help, we're going to be there online. Like Virgil jumped up the other day like, Whitey, I didn't even pay attention to what you were saying till you came to the expo, and then told everybody, stop panicking, because there's another way for you to get rich also. So we need all the talent in the world to sit back and help make these products and put them on people's shelves all around America, because CBD oil is legal. And if you can make the product that the people want, that means you're going to be in a position where you're going to still be rich or richer, because you're going to have a company and some farms of CBD stuff, and it's going to be wonderful. This is what we're working on. We're working real hard for everybody to open their eyes and see the other picture. Yeah. Don't get cloudy and just see this one little picture that they throwing in front of you, hollering about, hey, you guys need this weed industry. No, we need both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I love the product conversation, because now we're talking about supply chain, right? If we get these delivery licenses, we need products to deliver, and that's how we can distribute everybody's social equity products.
Yes.
With our social equity delivery services, right? And we got all the phase 2 licenses or social equity, the distribution and the cultivation. We have all these aspects of the supply chain. I know you all, I'm sure, have worked with and helped several applicants through that process, right? We need to start connecting these dots and building a supply chain where we can all help each other build wealth.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Let's do it.
Hey, Cheryl, I'm curious, what do you think?
It's something for everybody.
Cheryl, I'm curious, what do you think about temporary approval for delivery? Because I know the recent conversation has been grant temporary approval to the 100 that got selected for retail. But why not?
I think temporary approval could work.
For delivery?
Yeah, temporary approval could work for delivery, absolutely. For non-retail, exactly, storefront, yes, I think that's something that they could do right away. And if we frame it right between all our legal eagles, we can make the case that particularly under this COVID stay at home,
That's right.
this is a economic harm because we're not able to get retail, we're not able to have non-retail. So this is low-hanging fruit, and they've been making that adjustment for all these other industries.
Yep.
So again, my advocacy always rests in what can they do, and it's my job to figure that out. That's the innovation. So yeah, we should ask them. We should make that a letter that what you guys can do is X number of this and that and the other. The audit is out, was released, and some of the things in the audit included different types of advancement for that first 100. So we just have to get together, Madison, on a call, on another Zoom call, and come up with that.
The DCR put out a letter, I think last week, talking about their recommendations for moving forward, and they said, go forward with the initial 100. We know there were problems, but we'll fix it in the next round. But we'll also make 3 license types available for the rest of the people who applied, the other 702. And they talked about making it available for delivery. But the thing they didn't say is the temporary approval part. Right?
Well,
I think it's real simple.
Why you guys just won't get all of you guys together, Madison, and petition them and say we agree, but we need you guys to give us temporary approval right now
Yeah,
of the
we could
license
do
that
that.
you're getting ready to give. All you got to do is write a petition, because the people, you guys are the people,
Let's do it.
and the people run America.
I love that idea.
So just grab this, get everybody, get the petition right, and have them to sign
I'm
it.
going to write a petition today.
Yes, please, and get everybody. You already know everybody.
I've been thinking about it already. I actually been having some conversations about doing a petition. So now you just gave me confirmation that that's what we need to do right
Do
away.
it, because it's law. It's law that can be legislated right there at that DCR.
Yeah.
And they can say yes
Right
or no.
now. It's
Right
a-
now.
it's a
They said it.
crisis.
You already put them on the spot because they put themselves on the spot. So now you got to take advantage of the spot they put themselves on.
Okay.
When someone make an error, you going to knock them in the head and say, okay, here, this is what we want for your error.
Yeah.
And we're not going to let you correct it 6 months from the day saying, oh, we didn't mean that. So grab everybody, write the petition, and send it in and say, we agree with a stipulation. The stipulation is you give us temporary license on whatever license you give us. The delivery, the cultivation, the manufacturing.
Yeah.
Make sure you give us a license. And then you
Let us
should,
start
by
operating.
accident, just slide in and say, oh, yeah, we need you to give us some event license and
Okay.
consumption
That
license.
too.
So you just throw all those in. And once you get finished, let the apple fall where it fall, and take advantage of them, because they gave you that door.
Yeah. Event licenses are already available for us, I believe. I don't know a whole lot about that, but I think we can not like anybody's going to be having an event anytime soon, right?
It's just have them in your pocket.
That's right. Get as many licenses as we
No,
can.
yeah, they're not going to be doing anything. But I think the win where we could get some traction would definitely be a temporary license and some kind of co-design group like the oversight committee to work side by side with DCR in this next phase to get the vetting done, so that there's some reasonable assurances. Even with the 100, if they move forward, we want them to be vetted. We don't want number 46 to be someone who's not a social equity deal. We don't want number 84, whatever their number is. So I still think it's not either or. It needs to be all that. They need to be vetted. We're
How should they
up
do the
against
vetting?
a window
How do
where
you think they
people
should
can
do
get
it?
through that are not social equity.
Hey, Cheryl, how do you think they should do the vetting?
I don't know. I mean, I don't have like a single answer. I have our opinions, but I think if Green Believers was at the table, your group was at the table,
Yeah.
Indica, CMA, Go Verde, if we were all at
Have
the
a
table,
community oversight
and I
of
think
it.
we could come up with that. You know what I mean?
We
Like
could have that conversation.
Yeah.
But
we
Cheryl,
can,
you know
we can
what?
come up with what that should be, and then why do we go to the city as a group and say, hey, we're all together. And we're close to that. We can do that. I just wanted today's show to be able to demonstrate that, one, we can get the content out there as it is. It's not our job to always manipulate it. Yeah. Let's just take the news to the people, and that's where we're a trusted messenger. That's our faith-based roots. And then to help the community think it through, because a lot of people just don't know. And co-design, that's what's sexy these days. That's how communities and government and wealth and privilege work together. We co-design it. You're not going to design it for us, and we're not going to do it by ourselves because we don't have all the resources. So we need each other.
Mm-hmm. So Cheryl, I brought
and
Tony.
And we sit down and do it together.
I brought Tony. I brought Tony down here, Tony Torres, and he been telling me.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, how you doing?
And
Cheryl?
he been telling me I got something to tell Cheryl so bad. And I said, don't worry about it.
We'll talk about it. So let me shut my big mouth.
Well, it's always good listening in on the conversations and how you approach your ideas and so forth. And, I'm just honored, always to be a part of the Green Believers and everything that you all have done for the community as we stand here today, trying to move forward to this new norm. And as you know, Whitey and I have been associates for years, and I'm waiting patiently with high anticipation of my event license and consumer license, thanks to Mr. Robinson. So, I look forward to being a stepping stone for others that are moving forward in that direction. So, with time and patience, moving forward, as we know, it's going to be a new challenge as each day approaches. So, I'm just anticipating the arrival of the new norm and whatever comes with it. But I know preparation is one thing we all have to take advantage of. And while we're home, staying away from others, just doing what's necessary to get well and stay safe, you have to make preparations for tomorrow, whether it's financially, mentally, spiritually, economically. The biopsychosocial process never stops. So once again, I thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Robinson. And Whitey's Enterprise and the Green Believers are always willing to help whoever is willing to move forward in the fight.
So, Cheryl, basically, we've been having this conversation for the last year. And he like, man, when I start my club, I need an event license and a consumption license. I said, of course. And sooner or later, I'm going to put you on the table with Cheryl. And Cheryl going to run you through the formalities of what you need to do so you can be ready, so you don't have to get ready. And each day we sit back and try to figure out how we're going to put him in the right position as we put everybody else, because we work so hard for everybody else. Sometimes I got to go down to my inside house and tell them, what time do you want me to do your job? Because I'm doing everybody else's job. I got to do yours also in the process of me going out there, putting myself on the line. So each day, Cheryl, we sit back and we try to find the right moment to do it, because we know right now there's so much stuff in the air. They lie to go for anything. So like Madison said, it's that time of the year for you to ask them, can we have, since they opened the door. So that's why I said the petition is at the right time where you guys can attack and attack and attack. Yeah. Because this is it. This the fight. This the fight what you guys been waiting on. You guys just didn't know they were about to give it to you like this. And they put it on the table and said, you got to argue for it. Yeah. You got to tell us you want it.
Well, we got to tell them what we want.
Yeah, we do. And I think we should now remind me which team you're with.
Oh.
What team?
What team he with? With Whitey's Enterprise.
Yeah, I thought you did. Oh, okay. So he didn't actually. Did you submit your Acela? You didn't actually submit to be vetted, did you?
No.
No. Okay, got it. I just wanted to be sure to see if we had, if he was actually one of the.
But you know,
the teams
he's
in terms
on
of
the
working
team.
with us.
Yeah, he on one of the teams that submitted. He was Cedric and the boys, the rapper kids.
Oh, that's Cloud Green or Green Cloud. Yeah, Green Cloud. Yeah. I remember that they have a good good business plan, and a group of young men, and they also were in the top 5.
Yes.
So out of our group of 20-something that were vetted as Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, they were one of the top 5 teams that was matched with the landlord and still has a landlord deal, which that's the investment. Should we get through all 800? I think they were in the top 200 and something was their number. I have to go back and look if I remember.
You know the funny thing
So
about that.
they will be priority in this next round, you know.
Okay.
You know the funny thing about if you kept processing from where they left off until they reach undue concentration, I think the last person who would get processed is like number 700 or something. Like a lot of people get skipped because once they fill up a community area plan, nobody else in that area can come in.
Wow.
So
They
you
come
never
in,
know.
right.
You could be number 450, but get selected still.
Because you still fall under that rim.
Yeah.
And once you fall under that rim of being in an area that you was raised and born in, you supposed to have priorities over that neighborhood. You supposed to, but they switched the map so much and started sending it out farther and farther. And then when they came back and said, oh, this really not about the war on drugs no more. This the war on however you guys want to put it, because it's not a black thing no more. It's
Well,
not-
I can tell you what it is. It's not a mystery. What it is if you come from one of those zip codes, that's your home, and that's where you have a right. You know, we feel strongly we should be working there. The issue is who holds the real estate in those areas, because you can't operate a business out of the place you grew up in.
That's
So
true.
the question is, once you walk out of your apartment, your house, then we got to look around at our commercial assets and say, who owns these retail storefronts? That's where, Madison, your point is relevant, and those are all the things that make it complicated. It's not as simple as I have a right to this, because who owns the property? Who's going to cut that deal with us?
Yeah.
You know, who's got a store right here stacked up against this one? So those kinds of things have been in our way a long time, and to me, that's the message for our next generation. Is even as fucked up as that is, how many of us are today walking out the door and buying up the shit around us? All this stuff under this disaster is going to become vulnerable.
Yeah.
So how many of us are looking around? This shit is vulnerable, so we'll take that one, that one, that one. You know, we're going to piece up right here, because that's how you prepare for the next time around.
Okay.
We need to be. We're in business right now with an investor. I love him to death, but he don't look like us.
He don't talk like us. And it's
I'm just keeping it straight
Yeah.
up. He don't.
And he don't talk like us,
so,
Cheryl.
Yeah. Well, hey,
that too. But I
if
mean,
we-
that's the save. If you're gonna do the assist, the assist is I'm putting the balls up in the air because we're training people and we're turning out qualified teams. We need same time. We need a real estate plan. We need a capital plan.
You know,
It's helping us to bring that to the table.
yeah, I
We ain't got no deal.
I could see a world where a bunch of us piece up to buy some delivery trucks, right? That's a lot easier than buying a retail store, and then we get that business cracking and clicking so much where then we running up some
Yes.
cash and some capital of our
Yes.
own, where we don't have to go
Yes.
outside and borrow money for
And do
real
that.
estate or do
Right.
a deal with somebody else who owns the real estate. Because you're right, if we don't own the real estate, you know,
Come on, man. Right.
you don't control your business for
It's
real.
a
if
real
you don't-
game, right? This is a real game. So that's what Green Believers is about, is making sure we have that clarity and that we don't get all whipped up, you know, that we know we're keeping our eye on the ball. And I'm here to tell you that's one hell of an exercise.
Well, I must say,
It's like marking your time. It irritates the hell out of me that I got to stay straight up. You know, it's hard.
well,
Because
Cheryl,
we need our own shit right now. If I had one or two buildings, like you said, you know what we could do if we had 2 or 3 trucks. Who got a fucking truck between us?
okay, well, Cheryl,
Yeah,
I'm coming.
that's right.
I'm coming at the
I'm
bottom
hanging
of
out.
the
truck. I actually got a
I'm
pickup
hanging
truck,
out.
Cheryl. We'll talk about it later.
Cheryl, I'm at the bottom order. I'm getting ready to get out of here. But again, I thank Cheryl for coming. I thank Madison for being here. I thank Torres
Thank
for being
y'all for
here.
having me.
And I must say again that we are here to have this fight. And this fight calls for all of us to line up on the side of each other and be proud to be black and brown. And whatever happens from the day now, from this day forward, I want you guys to understand that just because they said no, they meant to say yes.
That's right.
So the Green Believers is signing off. You guys have a great day. Be safe. Be blessed. We out.